Thank you so much, and thanks for having me here. As I was introduced, I'm Stella. I'm the Youth and Student Campaigns Officer at PSC, so I mobilise students in their PAL socks and organise with young people around BDS campaigns, whether that's in their trade union, in their workplace, in their school. And it's so wonderful to share this platform with so many incredible activists. And as another queer woman, I can only echo Joe's brilliant points that I don't support the liberation of Palestinians on the condition that they support me. I support them unconditionally, and for my whole life will work against those who seek to use their queerness to separate us, whether that's by demonising Palestinians or by trying to cut off trans people from the rest of the LGBT movement. We need to be clear that solidarity means I support you no matter who you are, no matter where you come from. I don't tell you what to do or how to act for your freedom. I hold my hand out to you as equals. So, thank you. So the Palestine Solidarity Campaign is a democratic organisation. We've been campaigning since the 1970s in solidarity with the Palestinian people's struggle for liberation. We see solidarity as something material, as a necessity, and is rooted in the calls from our Palestinian siblings. And it's something that every person of consciousness should find essential to their day-to-day life. We work to build worker and student power, a popular mass movement in Britain for Palestinian freedom, justice, and equality. Because the blockade of Gaza didn't start in October, nor did settler attacks on Palestinians across the West Bank, the destruction of homes, the indefinite detention of children, or the system of apartheid, which has been recorded by Human Rights Watch and Israel's own human rights organisation, B'Tselem, and Amnesty International. And that system of apartheid is embedded in the very formation of the Israeli state. But now, more than ever, as we hear horrified about the atrocities like my comrades on the panel have spoken about today, that have been experienced by the Palestinian people over the last 9 months, we must redouble our efforts in this country to echo their bravery in the face of this massacre. I saw a video last week of Palestinians celebrating their little boy's birthday on the beach in the midst of the rubble. This is the humanity that we're fighting for, because Palestinians deserve to celebrate their children's birthdays in Palestine, in Gaza, every year from now until forever. So what does that fight look like in Britain? We've got nearly 100 branches of PSC in cities, towns and villages across the country. And if you want to sign up to the local branch here, we've got a stall in the tent just next door, so you should definitely come and speak to us there. And that's because we know that by building local power in our communities, by meeting our neighbours and by coming together in every corner of Britain, we can force our government and corporations to take notice. We run campaigns with our Palestinian partners on international complicity using the tactics of boycott, divestment and sanctions. So earlier this year, we had an amazing victory in forcing Puma to drop their sponsorship of the Israeli Football Association, which plays on pitches that are on stolen Palestinian land. And we worked with the amazing Queers for Palestine on organising the campaign to boycott Eurovision this year, calling on the UK's contestant Ollie Alexander to pull out. And I've been deeply involved in the inspiring wave of student encampments, which we've seen sweeping across the country in the last few months. So at their peak, there were 35 encampments at universities all over Britain, united in their demand for divestment and an end to all university complicity in genocide. And crucially, we're winning. Swansea University has divested £5 million from Barclays Bank as a response to the student encampment. Trinity, which is Cambridge's richest college, has fully divested from arms companies. And to put that in perspective, they've got tens of thousands of pounds invested in those arms companies. And Goldsmiths was the first of multiple universities to implement undergraduate scholarships for Palestinians. If you want to get more involved in campaigning for divestment in this country, whether that's in your workplace, to do with your pension fund, church, political party, union or university, you should join us at our landmark Divest for Palestine conference, which will be on the 10th of August. and we've got trade union and student-specific conferences coming up in October as well. And we're doing this organising, all of us, in a proud tradition of activism against apartheid. Barclays really hasn't changed its spots since my mum was campaigning in the 1970s and 80s against Barclays for bankrolling apartheid in South Africa. And in the 1970s and 80s, anti-apartheid campaigners called for a mass boycott, disrupting the bank's annual general meetings, forcing the closure of campus branches and holding massive rallies in London and across the country. And with thousands of institutional and individual customers closing their accounts, Barclays was forced to withdraw from South Africa in 1986. Today, Barclays Bank holds over 2 billion in shares and provides over 3 billion in loans and underwriting to 9 companies, including BAE Systems, Boeing, Caterpillar and Elbit Systems, whose weapons, components and military technology are being used currently by Israel in its devastating attacks on the Palestinian people. So we're calling for a mass boycott of all Barclays services until the bank ends all complicity in Israel's genocidal attacks on the Palestinians. Thanks. And yesterday, after massive pressure from people all over the country, the new Labour government deigned to commit to restoring funding to UNRWA, which is the most bare minimum step, but nonetheless, it's incredibly important in providing some crumb of relief to the Palestinian people. Starmer's made clear that his government wouldn't take these steps out of the kindness of their hearts. It's up to every single one of us to ensure that the political consequences for the new government are too great, that they must remember the humanity of Palestinians, because we will not forget. So together, by taking action where we are, and by coming together, whether that's in our communities, our million-strong national marches, in our workplaces, schools, universities or trade unions, we can build a mass movement that's capable of tackling our government's shameful complicity, and we can and we will win, because we have to see a free Palestine in our lifetimes. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Stella. And it really is important to go back to your workplaces, to your branches, and affiliate to PSC nationally.